Salut tout le monde! Welcome back to my YouTube channel and thanks for stopping by again. It's been a while, or I feel like it's been a while. Um, how have you been? If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thanks for stopping by again. It's good to see you again, I guess. If you're a first timer here, thank you very much for stopping by. I'm very happy to meet you. Remember to subscribe, like, and share my content with your family and friends, and I hope that you find this useful. My name is Dex. This is Shedex. I'm a Nigerian doing my master's degree in France, and on my channel, I talk about how I got here, how you can get here, application process, how to find schools, stuff like that. And I also try to show you around my city and the country. Okay, so today it's story time. I'm going to be giving you guys gist. I went to London by road. So I mean, like, I'm adventurous, but it wasn't adventure that drove me there this time. This was a money decision essentially. So I realized that at the time that I was trying to buy my ticket, um I mean, it was summer, everybody was traveling, so the prices were like off the chart, really. And essentially I couldn't find any cheap train tickets, I couldn't find any cheap air tickets. The flight tickets that I saw were like 350 euros for a 1.5 hour flight. I was just like, huh? Why? With which money I did not have. So I moved on to that. I found another cheap airline, and I think it was probably supposed to be like 80 something. I mean, like, that's how you actually know that it's expensive, because this airline off peak, you could literally get maybe like 30 euro flights, 50 euro flights, and stuff like within Europe. And then I'm like, almost 90. Wow, okay, must be really expensive. But I couldn't take that because I was like going on a hunt. I literally left here with almost empty box. And because I knew that I was going to just search for food and clothes and shoes and bring stuff back. But the condition for the cheap flight that I found was that I could only travel with hand luggage, and they were pretty specific. My hand luggage had to fit under the seat in front of me. So like, you're not checking in anything. I was like, cannot work for my agenda, so sorry. Then I checked for trains, and the return was probably like over 200 euros. So I was like, not working. If I had 200 euros to give you people, I would usually go and enter the 350 flights, no. Anyway, so I started just checking for other options, and then I found buses. I was like, hmm? Because I know that there's literally like an ocean or a large body of water between France and the UK when you look at the map. And the trains have an underwater tunnel that they go through. So I'm like, okay, is there an underwater tunnel for buses as well? How are we going to cross over? Blah blah blah. But I just told myself that, you know what? This is not the first trip for the bus people. People literally go by road, so like, you go however they're going and all of that. So I bought the tickets, and I think it was like 80 something euros. So it was close to the cheap flight that I found, but the problem was the baggage allowance. So I bought that, and then eventually I traveled at night, so like I couldn't even like really enjoy the French countryside as we drove along and everything, because it was dark and all. But it was still fun. Lucky for me, both trips there was nobody beside me, rather. So I was able to stretch my legs and actually sleep. Like, I was just like, if anybody had sat here, it would have been terrible because I would just have to sit and just like sit with my legs touching the seat in front of me for 9 hours. Oh, did I mention that the trip was 9 hours? Like, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, is this thing really worth it? So I checked Google Maps, like Paris to London by road, and then Google Maps was like 5.5 hours by road, by car. So I'm like, okay, so what happened to the other 4 hours and everything? But eventually I realized that they were scheduled for stops, immigration, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's what happened. So, how did we cross the body of water that I talked about earlier? Well, I found out eventually that buses, private cars, etc., etc., drive to Calais. So, the port city in France, between France and the UK, is called Calais. And then the port city in the UK is called Dover. So, there are ferries, essentially large ferries that ply that route between Calais and Dover and back. So like private cars, what we Nigerians call luxury buses, the tall buses that go long distances, um, and such drive onto the ferries. I think they pay a fee or whatever, and then they take us to the other side, and then we drive off and join the road and continue our road trip and all that. But the ferry was a very, very nice experience. If you know me, you know that I live for a good view, and I really, really love the sea, like the beach, like waves. I just like seeing like beautiful water, essentially. If I was yellow, maybe somebody would say maybe I'm a mermaid, but I'm not, apparently, like you can see. But anyway, on a serious note, so the ferry was actually very nice. It just looked and felt very huge airport lounge. Um, they had different decks, maybe like eight of them or something. There were restaurants, there were cafes, there were gaming areas, there were changing areas, restrooms. There was duty free, so like literally you could go there, buy chocolate, buy cookies, buy perfume, buy sunglasses. I know I saw a ton of stuff and I was just like, these people are not joking, no. And then they had like really comfy chairs that you could sit in, and of course the side panels facing the water were clear, so you could actually see the water. So I just sat there. On our way to the UK, right? We got there after immigration and all. We got onto the ferry probably like around 5 a.m. So it was already getting bright and all. And then just as I was having hot chocolate and just looking at the water and just like, oh, this is so nice and everything, the sun started rising. I was like, oh my God, a perfect way to start my day. Like, I was so happy. You'd have thought like it was something major. Like, I was just so happy. Like, the sunrise with the water, the distance, like everything just merging with the sky. I was like, oh my God, this is too, too beautiful. But yeah, that was a nice experience. And then when we got to Dover, yeah, we went back to our bus, drove off, and I think I slept. And then I woke up and we were in traffic. I was just like, why are we why are we in traffic? Why is there traffic? Like literally, since I got to France earlier this year, I haven't been in traffic. Not because there's no traffic in France, but like I never travel by road within Paris. Like, why am I traveling by road? Days. Like the metro system is very effective and it's just faster. Like there's no such thing as traffic except if something major has happened to disrupt whatever. And I think there was a time that the train station close to my house was closed for renovation, and I would go out by bus over the weekend. And then I realized that even with that, I didn't have to be in traffic because the buses had dedicated lanes that, like, there's even if cars have traffic, like the buses don't have traffic. So I was like, hmm. Then I got here and there was literally traffic. I'm like, "Ah, please let's not do that. Like, I don't have the patience for this. It's still early in the morning." But anyway, I slept off again and then I opened my eyes and we were in London. And it was nice. I was just like, oh, the almighty London. Oh, by the way, did I say it was my first time in the UK? It was my first time in the UK. So I was like, oh, I didn't know what to expect, but like, it was nice. I liked it. There were too many, like, before walking 5 minutes, somebody, I'd already heard somebody speaking Yoruba. I was just like, hmm. You must know us. We must show ourselves. Must we not? But yeah, that was nice. Sha tried to find my way from the place to my final destination, and then I got to my destination, and everywhere was just so quiet. Like everybody was in their house, everybody was minding their business. Like I was just like, where are the people? What's going on? Like, why is there literally nobody on the street in the middle of the day? Like, I was just like, I miss Paris. So, like, I want to go back to Paris or something. Like, Paris is like, I want to say that Paris is like Lagos with structure. I don't know. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. The hustle and bustle is still there. Like, you will see people literally everywhere, every time. Like, I think I mentioned in another video one time that I was traveling and I needed to leave home at 3 a.m. to get to the airport on time. And then I was panicking, like, oh my God, it's 3 a.m. What if I get robbed or mugged? What if blah, 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 blah. And then I got to the road and literally there were people everywhere. People were riding bicycles, cars were there, traffic lights were still working, shops were open, and I'm like, wait, what? And I'm literally holed up in my house at 10 p.m. thinking that oh, it's dark, it's late and quiet, and it's not really safe. I was like, so this is how it is. You people did not tell me now. And then another time I went out and I ran late, and then I think I was heading home around 12:30 a.m. So the metros stopped working at I think 1:15 a.m. But there are literally night buses, like that different from the buses that run during the day, but like they run also the night. So you can literally go out and use public transportation in the middle of the night in Paris. So like I was just like, I like that life. Like really though. I don't know what London is like. I do know that their trains are really tight and small, but I don't know what it's like in the middle of the night, how you can get around outside of the train schedule and all that. But anyway, end of rant. Oh, I forgot to mention, I experienced a bit of culture shock in the UK. So my friends from Nigeria know that I hate it when random people call me dear or darling or any endearment. Like you don't even know me. I'm not your dear. I'm not your darling. Like don't call me that. Anyway, so I get to the UK and then this guy was trying to help me get my half empty box from one place to across the street and he was going to charge me for it. I was just like, anyway. And then um it just kept saying, "Oh, that's okay, darling." Blah blah blah. I mean, I didn't say anything, but I was just rolling my eyes like, "I'm not your darling." Anyway, then I went on with my day, and then I went out, and the person I was with was talking to someone else and said something and mentioned, "Oh, that's okay, love." So I was telling the person like, "You don't even know that person. Like, why are you?" And she's like, "Oh, it's not like that's what we do here." I'm like, okay. Okay, well, now shutting up. Then another time, I had an issue at the train station. So I was trying to exchange my ticket and all of that. And the guy that was helping me, like middle-aged man and everything, was just like, "Oh, that's okay, darling. Blah 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 blah." And then in the end, it was like, "Oh, so my colleague here will help you." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Thank you." He's like, "You're welcome, my love." Blah blah. I'm just like, okay. I mean, like, I've been told that this is what you guys do, but this is a bit too much, though. Like, so if you're calling random people, my love, sweetheart, darling, dear, then what do you say to the people that actually mean something to you? Like, this is just not okay. Like, what? Anyway, moving on. So, yeah, like, I don't like it, Sha. So like even though I was just like, oh, they said that's how they do get with the program and all that, like it still rubbed me some type of way. I was just like, I'm not your dear. I'm not your darling. Like, don't call me that. And also, yeah, if you're like me and you don't like random people calling you stuff like that, and you're going to the UK or planning to move to the UK, just get ready, okay? Because you will hear a lot of it. All right. So moving on back to my gist. I was there for a couple of days, I think a week, I guess. I had fun. I went out. I saw, London is nice. Sha, like the main city of London is actually nice. Met a couple of people. I ate. Oh my god, I slept. Oh my god, like I slept so much that somebody said, "Why are you always sleeping?" I was just like, "I've had a long year. Like you don't know my story. Just leave me, okay?" Like I was literally always sleeping. My mom would call me like every afternoon, and literally a call would wake me up, and then I would just be sounding drunk, and she'd be like, "You're sleeping, okay, I'll call you." I'll call you back. Like it was so weird. Like I was like, I knew that I was tired, but I did not realize how tired I was until I got there. Like I was literally just always sleeping. Anyway, so I had fun, and then I came back again with my road trip, and it was okay. It was nice. It wasn't a bad experience at all. And of course, they have like immigration stops and checks at Calais and at Dover each way. And it's basically like the airport. So if you are a non-EU citizen, you have to have your international passport and your visa because of Brexit. So your Schengen visa doesn't get into the UK anymore. And if you are an EU national, then you need like a what's it called, like a government ID, not necessarily your passport. So maybe your card vital, or I don't know if driver's licenses work, but something like that, just issued by the government of an EU state, and all of that, showing that you're a citizen and whatnot. So yeah, it was fun, and then they were still asking me questions. Oh, so what are you going to do there? Where are you staying? How long are you there for? Do you have a return ticket? Can I see it? I'm like, sure you can see it. It's my bus ticket. How much money are you taking with you? I'm just like, dude, though, like. But then later I thought about it that oh maybe they would actually think that anyone that wanted to, should I say, smuggle themselves into a country would think it might be easier to do that by road than by air, I guess. So maybe they pay more attention to people that try to cross the border by road and like, why are you not flying? Okay, like you want to just use the back door to enter, and then we would not be able to find you again or something like that. But I was like, me. So the guy was not asking me that, oh, that I don't know why my eyes are itching. Pardon me. Anyway, so the guy was not asking me that, oh, so from the UK, am I flying back to Nigeria? I was like, in my mind, I was like, so go and do what? But I was like, no, that I'm schooling here. Like, you literally have my passport. The visa is on the page. Like, what are you talking about? You know, I said, oh, sorry, you didn't see that. Like, yeah, one job. What do you mean you didn't see that? But anyway, may I have my passport back? Do you want to see my school ID too and my registration forms? But Benny, give me my passport. Let me move on. So yeah, that happened, and yeah, I had fun. Sha. It was a fun experience. Would I do it again? Maybe if I don't find another cheap flight ticket, I don't be like, she is 9 hours. I will not die. I will go at night, sleep through it, and you wake up in the morning and you're already where you're going and all that. But it was a fun experience, although it was stressful. Like I felt the stress on my legs when I returned, and also yeah. Um, what else haven't I mentioned? I think that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm realizing, guys, that there are lots and lots and lots of nice places to actually see within France. I mean, I knew that France was nice, but then someone was literally asking me, he was like, where have you been in France? Then I said, oh, I've been to Montpellier. And then um, I said I've been to the UK. The guy was like, en France. I was like, sorry now, like don't be angry. So he was giving me like places to check out and everything. And apparently some of these places even have like group tours where like they some take off maybe from Paris and then they take you in a bus and blah blah blah. Some you have to find your way to the place and then they would accommodate, feed you for maybe 3 days. There was one like that I said, oh, they would give you like bicycles and then you guys will cycle around all the touristy places that you're supposed to go over 3 days. like you would cover maybe like 46 or 42 kilometers in 3 days cycling. I was like, why? Like, why, dear? Why are we doing that? But yeah, they're just fun things to do. Yeah. And I recently went to Versailles with my friends a couple of days ago. See, information is key in this life. So every time I'd heard about Versailles, right, I knew that it was close-ish to Paris, but I mean, it's another city at the end of the day. So every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, I need a budget for that. So I just like cancel it in my head that that's for later, right? But then I now found that the Navigo card that I actually pay for covers the 5 zones. And for some weird reason, Versailles is in zone 4. Like, that means it's close. Like, when we went, there were trains that would stop in other places and then get to Versailles. And then there was a train that went directly to Versailles. And then literally the trip was like 12 minutes. You guys, not from my house, but like from the place where I took the Versailles train itself, was a 12-minute train ride. It was a fast train, but it wasn't like speed of light fast. 12 minutes. I was like, I can literally live in Versailles and work in Paris. Okay. It was so close. It was shocking. I'm like, and to think that I didn't even have to pay extra for the transportation, like the thing literally already covered. I was like, so how many other things am I missing out on that I don't even realize it? Because whether I go or I don't, I already pay for the transport card anyway. So yeah, I'm going to be just checking out places and seeing how far I can go without spending extra money on transportation. Uh, yeah, so maybe look out for some other tourism videos, maybe if I'm able to have enough footage or something. Because I tend to live in the moment. Like I would enjoy the moment before I realize, oh my god, I didn't even take any photo or video, which is I think what should be ideal. But I mean, if you're now vlogging, you have to also like bear in mind that you need proof or content or something. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I will see you in my next one. Like I said, remember to like, subscribe, share with your family and friends. And if you've ever traveled by road, maybe from Paris to anywhere else or something, also share and let's know in the comments. And I will see you in my next one. Take care of yourself and happy until.